This is Justin West from Podcast Portugal. I would like to extend a very, very warm welcome to Rebecca Castro from Fresh Legal. Now, Fresh Legal works with clients from all over the world. Rebecca, what are the most common legal questions people ask you before moving to Portugal?
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Rebecca. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Welcome,
And
welcome.
so yes, we do. So Fresh Legal is designed um, to support expats moving to Portugal. So the most I would have to say that the most common question that we have is when do I start to pay taxes?
Yeah.
When I become a taxpayer in Portugal. So this must be the number one.
Yeah. You sure it's not like, do I have to pay taxes? Is that not the number one question?
I think they have this on the back of their minds, like, I think Portugal will like to tax me. I've heard something. But yes, mostly when. And this is not an easy question. I would love if it was an easy question because it would turn my work an easier one, but it's not. It's not a straightforward answer. The tax residency issue, and maybe we should talk about it.
Yeah, no, for sure. It always needs clearing up. I mean, I'm still,
Yeah.
you know, how many people I've sort of talked to about these issues and these statuses, and I'm still a little bit lost. You know, I mean, it just, and the other thing it often changes as well. Sometimes it changes, or there's lots of rumors going around that it's changing or changed, and this sort of throws everything up into confusion. So, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
there is often, you know, understandably a little bit confusion around the tax residency status. So, what actually determines whether someone becomes a Portuguese tax resident?
Yeah. Okay. Usually, and let me just say this: usually, clients are very well educated in what the law says, which is what everyone knows, the 183 days. And the second one, the law only has two criteria. So the counting of days is one. And then the second one is if you move with the intention to establish your primary home in Portugal. And this is very hard to track. So the only way in practice that the tax authorities is tracking this is whether you purchase a property here and you pay property taxes. So this is a very big indicator that you want to live in Portugal. Otherwise, they do not know that you exist. So this is
Mm.
what happens in practice. And also, nobody's counting your days. No one is counting your days.
So when you get
Not even.
a stamp on your visa and you know you're on a passport, I mean, if you come in from another European country, that doesn't happen anyway. You don't even show your
Yeah.
passport most of the time.
Yeah.
If you have a stamp on your passport and it goes through a scan and goes onto some computer, and then you know when you leave or when you come back in again, it does it again. That is just not cross-referencing with the finances at all.
Well, it's not until now, and I'm glad you mentioned because we did hear some news that they would start to change immigration processes and get this like this machine process to count your days and supposedly change information with the tax authorities. But this is not happening until now, and I've not heard that it will be enforced any soon. So basically, what you do have is you on your own counting your days. But this is not even so. These two criteria they are not automatic. The law says if you meet any one of those, you can be deemed a tax resident. So this is a very different thing from being automatically considered a taxpayer in Portugal and being deemed because this the second one only happens if you are under examination. Basically, if you are audited, if they find one of them, then yeah, you can be deemed a tax resident to some time in the past, and then you will be liable to taxation as of some time in the past. But what happens in practice when you move is, if you are an European citizen, then you have a more relaxed immigration process, and once you have your certificate of European citizen residency, you can attach a Portuguese address to your NIF registration, which is the taxpayer number, and this is when you become a taxpayer in Portugal. For everyone else that has to get a visa to come to Portugal, then those guys have to come here after the visa is approved, wait for their IM appointment, wait for their card, to the residency card, to get to their homes, and then they are able to register for the first time ever a Portuguese address to their NIFs. So basically what we are looking for is the the time when you registered a Portuguese address to your NIF for the first time.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. And that
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily, when you're saying an address, that can be a rented address, rented accommodation.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so what happens to van life? There is a lot of van life people in Portugal, I've noticed. So I mean, they basically don't have an address to register. So are they deemed resident if they're living in a camper van and traveling around Portugal, or not?
Yeah, they are not, and this is a very kind of weird concept, because there are many people just not registered anywhere as a taxpayer, and you're not supposed to really do that.
Mm,
Yeah, so they would only be flagged by the tax authorities if they were ever under examination, for
mm.
any reason. Uh, but that's, for now, that's how the tax authorities work. They rely on you to self-register as a taxpayer.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it should be a thing that if you're living in a country, you're living in, you're using the country's services, that you should
Yeah.
have an obligation to contribute.
Yeah.
It's the same in the UK. When I was paying taxes there, it was the same thing. It's basically self-assessment. You fill in a form and you say, okay,
Yeah.
well, this is how much I earn, this is how much I spend, and this is how much I'm going to offer you to pay taxes. Um,
Yeah.
and then if they see something that's not correct, then the whole they release hell on you, and so that
Yeah.
they had this fear over you that you need to be as correct as you can, within reason,
Yeah.
and as honest as you can be. So yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I like that system. Whatever system is easy is what I like. I'm happy to contribute, but I just don't want it to take up so much of my time. I don't want it
Yeah.
to. I don't mind if the money goes somewhere which I can see an improvement. And I don't want to have to be paying lots of different services to just to pay somebody, to the tax contributions. Um,
Yeah.
so it's fair enough, right? I mean, every
Yeah.
person's circumstances are different. So, what are some of the most common tax situations do you think you help your international individuals and families, when they navigate after relocating to Portugal?
I mean, every family, every person is different, of course, but there are like very specific groups that I can spot. For example, there are the people with only retirement income, and they're done with their work life, and they just want to live somewhere beautiful, and they come here, um and they have social security, they have other distributions from retirement accounts, post tax or pre tax, I would say dollars, but any currency. Um and of course, you have digital nomads, people with a very complex setups to try and get the best tax outcome, combined with some tax beneficial regimes Portugal offers, which are very interesting. Yeah, so I would say these two main groups, digital nomads and then retirees.
Yeah, working remotely and
Yeah.
running international businesses, as well. Like, I mean,
Yes. Yeah.
I do a couple of different things, and it does. I have to scratch my head a little bit to know how to do it all, And I think,
Yeah.
like, that's why it's so important to speak to somebody like you. You can, you don't. I would say, I don't know if you would also recommend this, but I wouldn't go to the tax office and say, um, "Hey, look, this is, I'm earning this amount of money from here, this amount of money from here. I'm also earning a little bit of money here in Portugal. How much tax should I be paying?" They're not the resource for you to go to for tax advice. Really, they probably
Yeah.
say to you, "Falas inglês, falas português, por favor." Um, and you'll be stuck. So it's important
Yeah.
that you find the right people to speak to get the right advice before you go and open your heart to the tax office. Correct?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, public services. It's not is not only Portugal that public services are, you know, I d- you know.
Yeah.
So but yeah, they generally, and this is my experience, okay? They generally do not understand very well how taxation of foreign income sources should look like on the tax return. They just know like the very general idea that there is a designated tax form where foreign information should be reported, but that's the extent of it. And there are a lot of thinking to do in regards to how to read the tax law and the treaties and the binding rulings to get a very clear reporting of your income. So generally, what I've seen is generally people maybe only come here thinking that they only have to report Portuguese source income, which is incorrect. Or if you have a type of income that, according to the treaty, is non taxable in Portugal, for example, as government pension, they think they don't have to disclose this to the tax authorities, which is also incorrect. So there are many assumptions on what you have to disclose, what is taxable, what is not taxable, what Portugal will take a credit for, or not. So generally, the best advice is really coming from tax attorneys
You also
on
have
that.
a blacklist of countries as well. Like, you cannot earning money from Saudi Arabia or Dubai or Cayman Islands, and that always raises as a few issues, like how to navigate that.
Yeah, it's not that you can't earn money from them. You can,
You have to pay
but
tax on
you
it.
will pay you will pay more.
Oh, really? Okay, interesting.
Yeah, you will pay more.
Yeah. Okay. Um, and what do you think some of the biggest legal or tax mistakes you see people make before moving?
Well, let me see. I see a lot of people that did not know they had to uh change their NIF registration to become a tax resident. They just assumed that after receiving the IMA card with the updated Portuguese address, they would be done,
Mm.
and that's not right. So they delay tax registration, then they are in a very weird situation, as in IMA would expect you to be a registered taxpayer and for let's say renewal appointment purposes, and for finances you're just not a registered taxpayer. So you have that. um I would say most mistakes would be um planning improperly.
Mm.
So for example, I think by now everyone knows that Portugal offers a very sweet tax benefit, which is called IFICI. many people call an HR 2.0, which is basically offering tax exemption on everything foreign source besides pension. Um, but the criteria is to be eligible to EFISI are a little bit tight. So um, not everyone is seeking that. But anyway, even and especially if you are not eligible to any tax benefits, you should plan very carefully. So what I have seen in the past month after during and after tax season is, for example, people that moved here and registered as taxpayers and then sold their primary home overseas, and the taxable is exposed here to progressive rates.
Mm.
And for example, for let me just give the US example on this. The US offers a non recognition of the gains on property if you're selling your primary home in the US. So you basically can be on a position that you don't pay taxes at the source, but you pay here. And under progressive rates, it can go up to 48% very easily. You see? So it's more of a lack of planning
Mm.
than proper, legal mistakes, per se.
Yeah. So what do you advise? I mean, Fresh Legal offers legal, immigration, tax services all under one roof. So, what
Yeah.
do you think? Do you have like a document you send out to people where they sort of have to sort of declare to you exactly, where they have their first property in the USA, or they have this bank account here, they have a company in Dubai or Brazil, or and how is the best way that they can come and approach you? And obviously, as open as possible, I'm assuming, like to try to
Yeah,
describe to you
it
as best as
is.
possible their circumstance?
Yeah, we generally so what we do is we offer two main consulting services depending on complexity, of course, and the levels of income involved. But generally we ask clients that book, for example, a tax consultation to share as many details as possible with us so we can assess their overall structure and
Mhm.
um worth portfolio and everything so we can give them the best advice possible. But yeah, clients should disclose everything during consulting, otherwise we will not
Yeah.
will not give you proper guidance.
Mm.
um yeah.
And of course, that's all covered by client confidentiality clauses that are the
Yes,
same
yeah.
in Portugal as in other parts of the world.
Yeah, it's identical.
Mm.
We are all lawyers at Fresh Legal, so anytime you talk to someone, if it's not administrative team, it's probably a lawyer. So everything is covered by it's privileged communication.
Okay, so is there a circumstance where, um, as a lawyer, that you have to you have a responsibility to disclose some information to the authorities, or is it just completely everything goes? It's complete client confidentiality.
It's complete client confidentiality.
Okay, okay, good to know. What stage do you think someone who's sort of seeking professional advice, is it better before applying for a visa, before arriving in Portugal, or what's the timing?
I think as everything regarding to law and especially tax, I think it depends. For example, if you have to dispose, if you are not eligible to EFISI, and let me just bring back the gains on property sale again because they're very complicated. Um, let's say you're not eligible for any tax benefits in Portugal. So you're understanding that you will be taxed on progressive rates and you were okay with that, but your property will not sell overnight. You need time. So ideally you would sell your property before coming to Portugal, and you need time to take care of that, you see. So for those planning on selling property on their country of source and where the property is located, it would be ideal to sell it before you come. So if you were one of those, maybe seeking guidance even after, even before the visa process. But if your situation is not that complicated, you don't have, many assets and to restructure or take care of, you can seek properly, you can seek advice while you're, going through the visa process. But just pay attention that for European people, immigration process is very quick.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they have to pay more attention to tax, planning, um, yeah, maybe before getting the certificate of European, residency.
Yeah. So I mean, basically these sort of things all, I guess, work together rather than being treated separately.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Awesome. Um, for someone who's never worked with Fresh Legal before, can you tell us about the services your team provides and how you
Sure.
support international clients throughout their relocation journey?
Sure. So, so as you mentioned before, we are now, a very big firm. I think we have, and part of my memory, but because I feel like every day we get new people, but I think we're, up to 15 lawyers now.
Yeah.
So we have a very big tax team, which was our primary practice. We started with tax. Um, and now we have an amazing immigration team. We have a real estate and estate planning team. We have a corporate team. So basically, all the biggest issues of relocation and managing income and maybe investments here. Many people like to have, the invest in properties here in Portugal and have AL licenses and all these types of investments. So I think we can offer a very, how do I say this?
Encapsulating.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Problem.
Super, yeah, assistance to our clients. So with the tax team, you get guidance on how to properly relocate and planning before you relocate, and then once you come, you we can assist you if you have a structure overseas, or if you decide to work with a Portuguese structure, which is not most of our clients decide to do, but many of them, a few of them want to have like real roots
Mhm.
here in Portugal, so they would like to open Portuguese uh, companies and work as a Portuguese freelancer, which I think is very cool. um, so yeah, with the immigration, obviously you have the visa process and then residency renewal processes and ultimately nationality requests, which is also very cool. Um, and yeah, basically everything.
Yeah, yeah. And Rebecca, the the offices are what, in Lisbon, or are you guys all over the country, or where are you based?
Yeah, so the main office is in Lisbon. We have now a new office in Porto.
Hmm.
It's we because we're actually spread around the country. So I live in Aveiro, for example.
Are
I
you?
live in central,
Mm.
yeah, in central Portugal. So I'm closer to the north. One of the partners lives in Figueira da Foz, so it's also very center. The head of the Porto office will be moving very soon to Porto to lead the office from there. We have a lawyer in Braga, so we're kind of spread.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
nice.
the main office, the beautiful office, is in Lisbon.
And you guys go there every now and again, or how's that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
every week we're
Oh,
there.
right.
Yeah,
Okay. Interesting.
yeah,
Okay, good.
yeah,
So you're kind of partly remote, sort of hybrid working. That's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
That's cool. Because I'm sure, like, people are not always just moving to Lisbon and Porto now, so it's quite nice for them to know that they
Yeah.
have a lawyer just down the road, pretty much.
Yeah, we had a an event, I think it was March this year in Porto, and it was very surprising to me of how many people attended.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we didn't know we had that many, this many clients and people that liked our work and would like to, partner with us. And in Porto, so it was very nice.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Do you have anyone in Alentejo?
No,
Algarve?
not yet,
Okay.
which is surprising. Yeah, but we're
Probably the
actually
nearest is Lisbon. It's only
that's
an
yeah,
hour and 20 for me to get to Lisbon.
yeah. One of our partners was there just yesterday
Oh, right.
looking for yeah, so we go there often
Mhm.
to work, but we don't have an office there yet.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
And a little bit about your background. You're from Aveiro? Are you from Portugal? Your accent has an American sound to it, so I'm assuming maybe you studied in the US.
I am Brazilian.
Oh, no way. Okay, okay, okay. So that's
Yeah,
why
I'm
maybe
Brazilian.
you picked up the
Yeah.
Americans' uh, English.
Yeah, I actually, I did an internship in the US for a
Okay.
while, so that's the reason, I
Yay,
think.
great. Nice. Nice. So you've actually been through much of these processes in a personal way as well.
Oh, yeah, every mistake there is to make, I think
No way. Yeah, I think me too. Yeah.
I've learned from experience, so I have yeah, I know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's an evolving situation, isn't it? And I like
Oh,
to
it
say.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah, I'm a licensed lawyer in Brazil, and here, yeah, I have many more years of experience in Brazil, and now a few here. So yeah, it's
so
fun.
so many of your personal clients are from Brazil, relocating or
No, actually, most of our clients are US.
Ah, right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's actually astounding if you see some of statistics for this year. How many people have immigrated or into Portugal? It's really quite crazy.
Oh yeah, but every year you have people leaving as well. Moving abroad it's tough. It's not an easy thing to do, even if you plan very well and you know the place and you love the place. There's so many factors into, your living, your family. Um, so yeah, you have many people coming, but you also have a few people leaving as well. So things are very balanced. That's my take on it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. And and I think Portugal also it also needs the Portuguese to come back. And I actually have
Oh yeah.
quite a few listeners who are Portuguese and who are living in Fall River in Massachusetts and
Yeah.
various different places in the US who've left Portugal for whatever reason. And I'm always saying to them, you need to come back home. The Azores and
Yeah.
Madeira is, there's some, if I look at the statistics of this podcast, most of the people listening are from the US. And then the second biggest band of listener group is China,
Really?
which really, really is surprising for me. And
Oh,
I think,
yeah.
I don't know whether it's because of the former states there.
Yeah.
I don't know, the former colony. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, or maybe it's bots. I don't know, but it was really.
You
I look
tell
at
me when you find out.
yeah, I'm looking at the statistics and go, wow, that is completely crazy. Like thousands of people listening to the podcast about Portugal in China, and
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I wonder why. But there is a lot of like Chinese businesses that set up here.
Oh, yeah,
Um, you see the
that's right. I've
Chinese
heard
markets and
yeah. I've heard there are big tax firms in Lisbon that mainly handles, like, Chinese clients.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah. But from our practice, it's very, very, like, personal taxation, and small businesses. That's not really our um, practice until now, but yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's. I didn't realize the scale of how many Portuguese people live around the world. It's quite amazing, and then obviously, like a lot of them, second generation, third generation, they probably have that sort of view. Shout out to everybody outside of Portugal who's reminiscing and thinking about Portugal, and you see so many
yeah,
comments on some of the things that we do and some of our guests, and they're just like,
yeah,
"Ah, I miss leitão," or "I miss pastel de
yeah.
nata," and you're like, "Well, I always reply to them, well, come back."
Well, yeah,
Yeah, if you miss it that much,
we're waiting for you, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Food, but come on, food here is amazing.
yeah.
Food here is amazing.
I
But
don't
yeah,
know.
I'm
I
I'm
think
glad
some
to
of my
hear.
favorites, picanha, to be honest. I really like the rodizio. I have to be honest there.
Yeah.
I really love those skewers of meat that come from.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've heard there's a really good Brazilian rodizio in Lisbon.
In Aveiro? Oh yeah, in this I don't I do you know the name?
No, I
I
don't
don't
know the name. I've just heard there is one. I, I've been to
Yeah.
one, but I can't remember what it was called and where it was. It was near where the hotels are. I don't. Some of the bigger hotels, the
Oh, I don't
Corinthia, is
know.
it? Yeah. Anyway, so I think finally, what do you think? We should leave our listeners with 3 practical tips for making a smooth, compliant, and stress-free move to Portugal. What do you think they would be? What would be your recommendations?
I would say, okay, let me think. 3, only 3.
Well,
Uh,
you can actually say as many as you like, but just to sort of like anybody listening here, they're thinking, maybe I'm going to move to Portugal.
yeah,
What do I need to sort out right now? What could be the first thing I can put on my to do list of moving to Portugal?
yeah. I think I think tax guidance is really important because you need to understand that you will be taxed on your global income and not only what eventually you have that is Portuguese source. So you really have to be prepared because if you're not coming from an European jurisdiction, which also have very high taxes, you might not be prepared for the impact.
Yes.
Uh yeah, so you should have proper tax guidance, you should have proper immigration guidance because I've seen crazy stuff on immigration side as well. So I think you should have some grace toward wanting to learn the language, but having patience with yourself because it's a hard language.
Mhm,
I know it's a hard language,
mhm.
but you should definitely try and learn it. Um, I don't know. We just want to make be a part of this. Portuguese people are so lovely. They're so helpful. I'm so grateful that they have me here,
Mm,
you know? So, my daughter is Portuguese, she was born here.
nice.
So, I love this country and I love its people. So, you just enjoy and want to be a part of this.
I think it's beautiful, and I think that when you're sitting there and thinking about some of the reasons to move to Portugal, a lot of it has to be from the heart, and I think the only way you are going to connect with a country fully is by understanding much about the culture, learning
Yeah,
and the access to the culture and the access to the people. A lot of the time is through Portuguese.
yeah.
My wife, she's Portuguese, and
Oh,
so you have to. It's quite funny because when I met her, my Portuguese was really really bad. So you as you start to get to know somebody and you start to be able to also speak their language, you also
yeah.
start to discover a different person, which is very strange. Because the way because the way people express themselves
Yeah,
in one
yeah.
language to another is can often be very different.
Yeah, I
Very
think, for
interesting.
example, I think I'm very funny in Portuguese, but maybe not so much in English, so you have that.
No, your language is great. You come across very well. Very, very much American. I can tell, like it's American mixed with yeah. Now you say you're from Brazil. I can sense the intonations and that's one of the.
Facebook,
Yeah,
the the
it's
notebook.
yeah, it's why exactly. It's why I like to do the podcast because you get so focused in on audio. One of the reasons why um, I started doing a podcast was because I was really terrible at listening to people. I was one of these people that cannot listen, and I get agitated, and I start to think
Yeah,
about what I want to say before I fully listen to what the person is saying. And so I
yeah.
thought, okay, I'm going to start listening to podcasts. And I started listening to podcasts and realized, like, okay, this is very interesting. And actually, when you listen to people, you learn. It sounds very
Good, good.
basic, but it's so
Glad
true.
for you.
Yeah, and it actually opened up a whole new world for me of learning because I've always been a reader learner, not an auditory
Yeah,
learner,
yeah,
and
yeah.
maybe a little bit of kinesthetic learning, sort of learning by failure. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, the whole auditory thing, I saw it as a weakness and thought, right, I'm going to dive straight into there, and a career in some respects came out of it, which is quite strange.
Mhm.
But anyway, sorry, Rebecca, I'm talking too much, and it's so nice to have you here, and I think people should look for Fresh Legal. What is the best way to get in contact with you or the
Maybe
team?
through our website or
Yeah.
LinkedIn,
All right.
or yeah, we're on Instagram,
Okay.
Instagram. We are everywhere.
Okay, great. So what I'm going to do in the show notes, which goes out to all the podcast platforms, which is Apple and Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, a little bit of YouTube, but I don't really bother too much about that. And on a link, if you scroll down the show notes, the summary of this episode, you'll be able to link directly to your website. I think your website will be the best place, and then they can get all the
Yeah, I think
information, and then they can click on Instagram and stuff like that from there. I just wanted to say a big thank you for your time. And everybody knows how to get in contact with you. I think it's very wise for their planning to try to organize something very soon. Thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. This is an honor.
Yeah, very welcome.
I'm really happy to be here and to talk with you.
Yeah.
Come on, you're super fun.
Hey, great. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you for having me.
Lots of good information there for everybody. And thank you very much for all those people listening to the USA and in China, and all over the world, and hopefully also in Brazil. Yeah, thank you. And if you're thinking about moving to Portugal, let's get in touch with Rebecca. She sounds really fun, and I think very helpful and very knowledgeable. So, yeah, great. All good stuff. Thanks, Rebecca.
Thanks, bye.
Ciao. This is Justin West from Podcast Portugal, Voices of Portugal, Stories to the World. Thanking Rebecca Castro from Fresh Legal and the guys and the team there. Get in touch. Out.
Stop this train of thoughts, or I will be crashing on a couch. Won't have much to grouch about. Walking past another conductor makes me wanna build a fusion reactor. Starting just with the basic switch, connecting poles and energy. Mom says focus on geography, all the things I can learn with that machine. I need some fuel, I need a monster now. I'm the last to come, the cloud. Won't you start fresh?